Must know. Why do old people become so quiet? Subtle signs, emotional wisdom. What families need to understand. Have you ever noticed how, as people grow older, they speak less? They become quieter, more withdrawn, almost as if their words are being folded gently into silence. It's easy to dismiss it as just aging. But today, we'll explore what's really going on behind that quietness. Because when older people grow silent, it's not always about hearing loss or forgetfulness. It's often about much, much more. In this video, we'll gently unpack the emotional and physical reasons older adults become quiet, what this silence might be trying to say, and how family members can respond with compassion instead of confusion or frustration. Let's explore the wisdom within the quiet. The silence is not always sadness. First, let's make something very clear. Silence doesn't always mean suffering. In fact, for many older adults, silence is a form of peace. After a lifetime of noise, responsibilities, decisions, and conversations, many seniors simply feel no need to fill the space anymore. They've earned the right to be still. They enjoy watching rather than talking, listening rather than debating. Think of it like this. When you've read the whole book, you don't need to reread the same pages again. So if your parent or grandparent is quiet, but smiling, calm, and content, there's no need to worry. That's not loneliness. That's a kind of wisdom. Chapter 2. Emotional weariness can quiet the soul, but not all silence is peaceful. Sometimes it's emotional weariness, the weight of loss, grief, or change that becomes too heavy to express with words. Many older adults have lost friends or siblings, watched the world change too fast to keep up, felt left behind by conversations filled with technology or topics they no longer relate to. Rather than speak up, they simply go quiet. It's not that they have nothing to say. It's that they may no longer feel heard. Or perhaps they fear being misunderstood, or worse, ignored. This is when silence becomes a message. A quiet but powerful one. Chapter 3. Physical and mental health can affect speech. Now let's talk about the physical reasons older adults become quieter. Silence can be a result of hearing loss, which makes conversation difficult or frustrating. Cognitive changes, like early dementia or memory decline. Speech fatigue, as muscles weaken and breathing becomes more labored, or even side effects of medications. Imagine being in a room where everyone speaks too quickly, or you miss every third word. Wouldn't you retreat too? Many seniors don't want to constantly say what, so they nod, smile, and go quiet. Understanding this helps families become more patient and proactive, maybe by slowing down speech, facing the person directly, or turning down background noise. Silence as a coping mechanism. Some elders grow quiet not because they're tired, but because they're protecting their energy. In later years, especially if dealing with pain or illness, speaking can take more effort than we realize. So instead of explaining how they feel, they might simply stay silent. Silence becomes a shield, a safe zone. This is especially true for those who grew up in generations that weren't taught to express emotions openly. They were taught to keep it in, to stay strong, and to suffer silently. And that silence becomes their language. If this video is helping you understand a parent or grandparent in a new way, please hit the like button so others can find it too. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on senior wellness, aging, and emotional care. The emotional, physical, and psychological layers that make them speak less and listen more. Now, we focus on how you, yes, you, can respond with compassion, understanding, and love. Because even in silence, the elderly are speaking. We just have to learn to listen differently. Chapter 5. How to comfort without pressuring. Many family members ask, how do I get them to talk more? But maybe the better question is, how do I make them feel safe, even if they say nothing? Here's the truth. Trying to force conversation can sometimes push them further into silence. Instead, focus on presence over pressure. Sit with them quietly, hold their hand, let them know they don't have to speak to be loved. Sometimes, the most healing moments happen in stillness, not in speech. You don't always have to do something. Sometimes just being there is everything. Chapter 6. Ask questions that invite, not demand. Instead of asking, why are you so quiet? Try saying, I love hearing your stories. Would you tell me more about when you were younger? Open-ended, gentle questions can awaken warm memories. Not every attempt will spark a full conversation, but when it does, it can feel like watching the sun come out after a long, cloudy day. Avoid rapid-fire or complex questions. Keep it simple. Sometimes, even just pointing to an old photo and saying, "Who's this again?" is enough to bring their voice back, if only for a moment. Chapter 7. Create a routine that invites interaction. Routines help seniors feel safe, and when people feel safe, they slowly open up. Try creating daily or weekly rituals that include quiet opportunities for connection. Morning tea together, reading aloud from a favorite book, listening to nostalgic music, looking through old family albums. These gentle rituals don't require them to perform. They simply create emotional space for connection. Even better, these routines often stimulate memory and help with emotional regulation. Music, in particular, is a powerful tool. It often unlocks parts of the brain that words cannot. Chapter 8. Nourish the body to nourish the mind. Silence can sometimes be caused by low energy or nutrition imbalances. So don't overlook the power of gentle food and hydration. Here's what you can do. Offer warm, easy-to-digest meals, like soups, stews, and mashed vegetables. Keep them hydrated with small sips of water or electrolyte drinks throughout the day. Avoid heavy, salty foods that may cause fatigue or sluggishness. In older adults, even mild dehydration or low blood sugar can lead to mental fog and withdrawal. Small changes can make a big difference. Chapter 9. Recognize when silence is grief. Some seniors aren't just quiet. They're grieving loss of independence, loved ones, youth, or purpose. You don't have to fix this grief. You just have to acknowledge it. Say things like, I imagine it's been hard adjusting lately. I miss them too. I'm here when you feel like talking. Grief isn't a wound you rush to close. It's a tender space that just needs your steady presence. Chapter 10. When to seek support. Finally, if your loved one becomes suddenly withdrawn, shows signs of depression, or stops eating or engaging entirely, it may be time to gently involve a doctor, therapist, or senior counselor. Silence can be healing, but it can also be a cry for help without words. Never be afraid to ask for professional guidance. There's no shame in saying, I want to understand more. I want to help better. As we grow older, we often speak less, not because we have less to say, but because we finally realize not everything needs to be said to be understood. The elderly may go quiet, but they are watching, feeling, loving. And when you sit with them in silence, you're speaking the language of the soul. If this video gave you a new perspective on aging, silence, and love,